big Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Cubs tonight.
Swing and a miss, strike three.
I was able to come out and just pound everything down in the strike zone. When I missed out of the strike zone and not over the heart of the plate. Pitch after pitch, trying to execute with quality stuff in the zone.
This should do it. Well, Jake will touch the ball as he touches the bag. His first career major league shutout, a one-hitter. Cubs win 7-0.
Overall, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Another beautiful evening here in Wrigleyville as we get you set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Tonight, the Cubs go for the 3-game series sweep as they take on the Cincinnati Reds. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays, Len Casper. The Cubs haven't given up a run in this series. It was Monday night, Anthony Rizzo the hero. Last night, Jake Arrieta.
That's the beautiful thing about baseball. You got two teams here playing out the string, kind of an unimportant series, but you never know what you're going to get when you come to the ballpark on Monday. That was the only run of the ball game, the final swing of the night. Anthony Rizzo with a walk-off home run as he came off the disabled list with the bad back, and then last night Jake Arrieta was the story. Johnny Cueto, the Red starter, was good early on. Ultimately, the Cubs were able to push through against him. The Reds were never able to push through against Arrieta. Complete game, one hitter. He walked one, struck out 13. That hit came with one out in the 8th inning. A brilliant performance by Arrieta.
Yeah, the first career complete game for Jake. So tonight, couple of rookie right-handers. Daniel Corsino in for Matt Latos. Kyle Hendricks, his first start in a week.
Yeah, Kyle Hendricks made his debut against the Reds. A no decision over there. He had a tough first inning, then settled in and pitched very well. He's been really, really good here at Wrigley Field. He has not allowed more than 2 runs in any of his starts here in his home ballpark.
All right, coming up, the Cubs go for the 3-game sweep. Jorge Soler last night got into the act. His first Wrigley Field home run. We'll have Cubs baseball on CSN next.
Is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine.
Another gorgeous evening here in Chicago. And quickly, the Red Southwest starting lineup. Christopher Negron will lead it off. He's at short. Ramon Santiago has started every game of this series. Rookie Yorman Rodriguez will hit third with Ryan Ludwig in the cleanup spot. Donald Lutz is in right. Jack Hanahan has started first. Jake Elmore at second. And the battery, Tucker Barnhart and Daniel Corsino.
Milwaukee. A defense for the Cubs. Coghlan, Kalish, Soler. The outfield. Valbuena, Baez, Vallejo, Rizzo. Third to first. Castillo. That's the catching tonight.
Kyle Hendricks ready to work.
And he is our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight. He's made 11 big league starts, 6 up, 2 down, a 238 earned run average. And the league also batting 238 against him.
Out into deep left center, and Kalish will have to go get it out of the vines as Christopher Negron with a leadoff double. So this is the September lineup for the Reds against a non-contender, and they're not contending right now. And these can kind of be dangerous lineups sometimes. You look at it and you go,
not a lot of household names in there. I was looking at it. The 8 men, the 8 everyday players in the lineup today for the Reds have a total of 771 major league at bats this year. So most of these guys are backup players, AAA players who were called up at the deadline on September 1st.
Veteran Ramon Santiago bunts. Hendricks will make the play. It goes 1-3 on a sacrifice bunt. Negron advances to third. So an early opportunity here for the Reds.
Yeah, an interesting play by Santiago in the top half of the first inning. Bunt the man to third. Of course, they haven't scored in 2 days, so maybe they're thinking let's just find a way to get one home and go from there.
Yeah, no runs, 5 hits now combined in this series for the Reds, who have not been shut out in 3 straight games since 1989. The Cubs, as a pitching staff, haven't held 3 consecutive opponents scoreless since 1992, and that will go by the wayside as Baez gets Rodriguez. Yorman Rodriguez with his first career RBI, and very quickly it's 1-0 Reds.
They get the lead off double. Santiago advances him. Rodriguez with the infield back. A little ground ball to short, and the Reds on the board. Toby Basner's got the plate tonight. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first. Adrian Johnson, second base. Mike Everett is down at third.
So 2 outs. Here's Ryan Ludwig, his first action in this series in Kyle Hendricks' major league debut in Cincinnati on July 10th. Ludwig went 3 for 3 against him with a home run and 2 RBIs. So not a surprise at all. The veteran Ludwig will be in the lineup tonight. Swinging strike.
Kyle Hendricks very aggressive, very efficient, typically works a very low pitch count. You see they had a run in 2 outs the first 4 pitches of this ball game.
Goes down and golfs one into left. Chris Coghlan will make the catch. So the good, a 6-pitch first inning for Hendricks. The bad, he gave up a run. Cubs coming up when we come back. gets a hit. Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to JDRF. That leadoff man is Chris Coughlin. And the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Baez, Rizzo back in there. Jorge Soler. Good to have him back in the lineup. Luis Valbuena at third. Wellington Castillo the catcher. It's Chris Valaika, the ex-Red. Ryan Kalish in center for Alcantara, and the pitcher Hendricks. That's night.
The defense for the Reds. The Reds have been a very good defensive club all year long, but most of these guys aren't part of it. Tonight it's Ludwig, Rodriguez, and Lutz, left, center, right. Third to first will go Santiago, Negron, Elmore, Hanahan, Tucker Barnhart. Good arm back there behind the plate, and he catches the rookie right-hander. He's Alexa's starting pitcher for the Reds tonight, Daniel Corsino. He's appeared 3 times. He's made 1 start. He made his major league debut in relief against the Cubs back on August 26th. His first start came against the Brewers 5 days ago, and he pitched well. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs allowed. 10-11 with a 4.13 ERA. At Double-A this year, that's where he spent pretty much the whole season. One little brief time with Triple-A, and then those appearances you saw there at the big league level.
Coughlin shows bunt, takes ball 1. Corsino's debut was, as you said, against the Cubs on his 24th birthday, August 26th. He's in for Matt Latos for the second straight assignment. Latos scratched prior to his last start with a bone bruise in his right elbow. Ball hit hard, but he hit it right at Rodriguez, the center fielder, for the out.
Those numbers compiled down at Pensacola while pitching for the Blue Wahoos, the Southern League. Corsino, a top 10 prospect in the Reds organization, a couple of years ago was drawing comparisons to Johnny Cueto, similar in stature, 5'11", 210. And back then he was really lighting up the radar gun, but that has not been the case this year. So I'm not sure what's going on. But
92, but low and out of the zone on Javier Baez.
One scouting report I read on him said back in the day he was mid to upper 90s. Of course, you can't believe everything you read.
This is true. The 1-1 right in there at 91. Dodgers are here tomorrow night. This is theoretically the last game the Cubs will play against a non-contender. We know the Dodgers and Cardinals are contenders. We're just not sure if the Brewers will be. That'll be a final weekend of the season.
Well, Dodgers thumped today big time by the Rockies. Giants won their ball game, so there's just 2 games separating those 2 clubs now. So the Dodgers obviously have a lot to play for as they come into town.
Chopped to third, foul. Saturday's game, originally at 3:05, has been moved up due to the Fox broadcast. So if you have tickets, it's a 12:05 first pitch on Saturday. Stung a little bit. Very similar weather these 3 nights. 62, east wind at 6.
Got him reaching for that slider off the outside corner. See if Barnhart decides to try to take a shot inside with the fastball. Slurvy breaking ball, well placed down below the knees off the edge. Going back out there.
And Baez swings and misses, but he's going to reach first. That ball went completely out of play. So that'll be a strikeout and a very wild pitch.
They had him in swing mode, and this ball bounces Just off that back corner of home plate. Barnhart can't knock it down, and it's a cheap base for Baez.
Now Monday night's hero, Anthony Rizzo, his 31st homer, won the game 1-0, leading off the 9th inning. It was after missing 18 games with the lower back strain. He sat out last night. Kind of have him on a typical rehab assignment schedule. Play tonight. Probably will be off tomorrow. He will be in there. That's the plan against Clayton Kershaw on Friday. Hopefully Saturday, and then maybe off Sunday. This is all a day-to-day proposition and a close play, but Baez is back.
Well, Miller blew a tire down there making the call.
Big year against the Reds. Look at that. 8 of his 31 home runs have come against this Cincinnati ball club.
The Cincinnati club.
2-0 the count on him. 1-0 Reds. Got their first run of the series in the top of this first inning. 2-1.
Yeah, I mentioned in the open that he came off the disabled list. He wasn't on the disabled list. He was just on the he can't play right now list because his back was bad.
He was on the HCPRNL.
Yes.
This one bounced foul.
Roster's expanding the 1st of September. No need to put him on the disabled list. Don't need any room on the roster. These guys are talking it over. Corsino in the minor leagues this year was tough on left-handed hitters. They hit just .213 against him. Got a pretty good changeup.
There's a sinker.
It's a kind of part and parcel of coming through the Reds organization. Mario Soto, who back in the day was just a tremendous changeup, who had a tremendous changeup. He works on their player development side, and so you see a lot of these young Reds pitchers coming to the big leagues with pretty polished straight change.
Looked like she said it's my birthday. Happy birthday. She's got a foul ball. Full count. 3-2. Imagine Baez will be on the move here. Throw over by Corsino. Soler on deck. Final game of the season series. The Reds have won 11 of the first 18. There goes Baez, swing and a miss, strike 3, throw to second, and plenty of time to end the inning. A strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Kid's got a cannon.
Yeah, he does. 1-0 Reds after an inning.
Top of the second. Now, fans have had the opportunity to watch a couple of the team's prospects here in Jorge Soler and, of course, Javier Baez the last couple of weeks. But I know a guy they would have loved to have seen is this one, Chris Bryant, who, of course, led the minors in just about every offensive category. And he was here at Wrigley tonight, just not suiting up, instead receiving the team's honor as Minor League Player of the Year.
It's definitely a huge honor. I mean, there's a whole lot of guys in the organization that are very deserving. And, I just feel so blessed to be able to get the award and, have a good day here at Wrigley with, some of my old teammates and get to watch them play. So it should be a fun day.
He is getting to take the game in as a fan, guys, which he says he doesn't get to do very often. But certainly he said envious isn't the word he would use when he was watching all of his teammates get called up. Instead, he was just happy for them and hoped that he would soon be in their shoes.
Thank you, Kelly. Jen-Ho Tseng, the minor league pitcher of the year, honored tonight as well. 1-1 on Donald Lutz.
Brian, not just the Cubs minor league player of the year, but Baseball America's minor league player of the year.
USA Today.
USA Today. He won the Heisman Trophy. Got the Art Norris Trophy.
Chris Bryant Day in Illinois. Lutz sends it down the line, just out of play. Cardinal fan here doing some recon.
It's a scout.
Bryant will be here at some point next year. We just don't know exactly when and what defensive position he'll be playing, but I have a feeling once he arrives he'll be here to stay.
Yeah, and he's just fibbing just a wee bit there when he said he wasn't envious, because how can you not be envious when guys get the call?
Swing and a miss.
That sinker changeup combination really good for Hendricks, especially against left-handed hitters. Great command of his straight change. He'll fade it away from the lefties. He'll cut it away from the right-handed hitters.
Here's Jack Hanahan, just his 23rd game since returning from the disabled list in late July. Had been recovering from right shoulder surgery. Hanahan, 3 N's, 3 A's, 2 H's. No other letters necessary. Don't know his family situation, but how about a daughter named Hannah?
Hannah Hanahan? Why not?
Or Ann?
Or Anna. You got a Hannah and Anna.
Two and one on him. Jake Elmore is on deck. Fastball misses outside. Kyle doesn't throw too many pitches that are straight. Sinker and changeup, very similar tailing action away from lefties and in on righties. 3-2.
Yeah, he doesn't have great velocity, but in terms of movement and location, he's just fine. Well above average.
Pounded on the ground to the second baseman, Valleca. Whenever I see the name Jake Elmore, I think of Jake and Elwood Blues. Right? The Blues Brothers. One strike on him. There's the cutter. Front door variety.
1001, 1002, 1003. You put a clock on Hendricks between pitches, and you don't have to count very long before he's ready to go.
Maybe about 7 seconds.
seemingly he's always ready before the hitter.
That was the cutting changeup. 2-2. Barnhart on deck. Second inning. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. We got him on the breaking ball to end the inning. 2 strikeouts in the frame for Hendricks.
Bottom half of the second. The Dodgers come in tomorrow for a 4-game set, followed by 3 with the Cardinals, this being the final homestand of the regular season. Don't miss your chance to come out and see a game here at beautiful Wrigley Field. Tickets in a variety of levels are available for all remaining games. To purchase your seats, visit Cubs.com.
Yeah, it's got to be a little different, especially thinking about being in a big league Cubs uniform and playing alongside guys like Jorge Soler and Anthony Rizzo, but it'll come in time. What a start for Soler, just 14 games in. Last night a walk, an RBI fielder's choice, a double, and his first home run in this ballpark. Our Xfinity high-speed action. Towering shot to the bleachers. One and one.
Small sample so far, but he's played at the big league level just like he did at the minor league level. He dominated down there, and he's dominating here so far.
Foul tip, strike 2. The big slugging right fielder is done for the season. The Marlins are shutting down Giancarlo Stanton. Hit by a pitch in the face last Thursday. Just at this point with their record and his situation, they're just going to have him take it easy. Outside, ball 4 and a leadoff walk.
Yeah, he's still pretty banged up. There had been some speculation that he was trying to get back, and I think the Marlins just, they just wanted to put that all to rest. And no, he's done. Let him get healthy and then restart next spring. He's had a marvelous year.
The Marlins are hoping he can get at least one at bat during instructional league. And I think the main reason there, right, is just some peace of mind. Mike Hill, the president of baseball operations, talking about it today. Said that Rawlings is working on 3 models of helmets that would also have protection for his face.
Stanton leads the league with 37 home runs. He's driven in 105, second to Adrian Gonzalez.
Now there's a statistical component to this story. And it would take a big tear for Rizzo here in the final week and a half. Valbuena did not like that call by Toby Basner. But Anthony 7 home runs behind, or rather 6 home runs behind Stanton for the NL lead. That looked like a good pitch. Fouled away. So he probably won't catch him, but stranger things have happened. Soler at first, nobody out. And an 0-2 on Valbuena. Now 1-2.
Here's a strange thing that happened. Justin Morneau drove in 5 runs in the first inning tonight. That beat down of the Dodgers. 3-run home run and a 2-run single in the first inning for Morneau. Valbuena pretty adept at working his way back into counts when falling behind.
And a base hit to right. Soler around second, on his way to third. And the Cubs have him at the corners with nobody out.
Fastball out over the heart of the plate. Lashed to right by Valbuena. Soler with a quick peek over his shoulder to assess the situation. Says, yeah, I got third base easily here.
Now the catcher, Castillo. Big night in Pittsburgh tonight. Obviously the Pirates have playoff aspirations, but the Red Sox are watching Rusney Castillo make his major league debut. And he singled off Francisco Liriano. Pirates lead that game 5-0. Castillo is playing center. Popped him up. Soler will not even tag as the catch is made by Elmore. One away. Here's Valleca. Of course, Cino will try to get a double play ball to get out of this inning. Chris took a bases loaded walk last night, making his 25th start since coming up from AAA on August 1st.
In that Pirate ball game you talked about, Neil Walker has hit a home run, his 21st, and Gregory Polanco, the rookie, hit number 7. Both of those off of Clay Buchholz, who's allowed 5 runs in 3 2/3 so far. Pirates asserting themselves here in this wild card race.
Buchholz ERA is over 5. Strike one on Valleca.
Pirates shut the Red Sox out last night. Doing so again so far tonight.
Double play depth around the infield. Hanahan holds on Valbuena at first, and the 0-1 pitch in on the hands and fouled. Out of play.
Yeah, Corsino, even though I said he's not lighting up the radar gun like those scouting reports I had seen, he looks like he's got pretty good life up in the zone with his fastball. Strong looking kid, thick, muscular.
$25,000 signing bonus, 2008. From Azua in the Dominican Republic. Here's a pitch.
Ooh, man.
Close.
Made a pitch
Didn't
there.
get it. 1-2.
Yeah, he was like 16 years old when they signed him. Barnhart looked like he wanted that ball up. Corsino painted the outside corner. Asner didn't like the painting. Not his style. He's more into cubism.
Ground ball, base hit in the left, and we're tied. Valaika knocks in Soler.
Slider hovered over the middle of the plate. Valaika took advantage. Nice try by Negron, but even Zach Kozart's not going to make that play.
First and second, and it's Ryan Kalish. He's playing center. There's Mendy Alcantara out of the lineup for the second straight night. The wrist is feeling better, but taking it cautiously. He's still listed as day-to-day. Aren't we all?
One form or another.
And that was a cross-up, I think. Barnhart immediately headed out to the mound.
Yeah, either a cross-up or he missed his spot so badly. You say, wait a minute now, big fella. Easy, easy. Don't try to overthrow here. Just hit your spot. But I think it's more the former. I think it was a cross-up.
Almost impossible to get that pitch called a strike. The catcher reaching so far across the plate. 2-0 on Kalish. Driven in the air to deep center. Rodriguez back, and he's going to have to go into the vines. Nope, he's going to put his hands up. The Cubs will get one. Valaika will be told to go back to third. It's a double for Kalish, and it's 2-1.
I love the aggressive approach there. The pitcher coming up next, 2 balls, no strikes. If you get a pitch you can handle, go ahead and take a whack at it. Ryan Kalish certainly did that. Jumped all over it. And rookie Rodriguez was a good decision out there not to go hunting for that baseball in the ivy.
So third hit and fourth runner of the inning. And now it's Kyle Hendricks. Second and third, the infielders will come in. Squares to bunt. Pulls it back as Valaika is kind of cracking Santiago down the line. It had the safety squeeze feel to it. Suicide squeeze would be Valaika just sells out, races down the line, and Hendricks has to get a piece of the ball.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, to square as early as he is in this situation, that puts obviously everybody on high alert.
Also, Negron from short heading over there to third, so Hendricks might try to get one past the pitcher to the left there, and he's got a little room if that happens, assuming Negron heads to third. Takes a strike this time. Squares. Runners are going to hold as Hendricks is thrown out. So Valaika read it, decided to stay, and 2 down.
That's interesting. Normally that safety squeeze is a first and third situation where, you know, if you don't score the run, you move that back runner into scoring position. In this instance, he was already there.
And the other tricky part is, you know, Kalish, that back runner, has to read Valaika or he gets caught in a rundown. He didn't. But you're right, that's an unusual play.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen the second and third safety squeeze before.
Well, now you have.
Yeah.
At least you've seen it attempted. Coughlin takes the pitch outside. It's 2-0. Well, a night for Jake Arrieta last night. Probably one more start. And the Cardinals series early next week. Coughlin is 0 for 2, but he has lined both balls to the outfield and kicks first base. 2-1, they get a couple.
You can meet that guy right there, Arizmendi Alcantara, at the Sports Authority, 3134 North Clark, this Friday from 6:30 to 7:30. Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Chicago Cubs. He's a fine fellow. You should go meet him. Shake his hand. You go, wow, that's where that power comes from.
Might have to shake the left hand. After this catch.
Don't squeeze hard.
Well, he's lucky he didn't break his nose.
Yeah, he's got what, 2.5 steps there to try to decelerate before heading into the bricks and ivy.
What a catch. Underway here in the Reds' third. Switch hitting Tucker Barnhart, the catcher. (2-0). Barnhart was on the Reds' opening day roster because Devin Mesoraco started the year on the DL. It's his 12th start in his 5th big league stint this season. See what he did at AAA. And a ground ball against the shift as Valbuena was way off the line at third. We'll put the pitcher in a bunting spot.
Cubs will probably rethink the shift for Barnhart next time he comes around. The ability to handle the bat and shoot the ball the other way serves him well there.
Orsino, as you see, 1 for 2. And he bunts it foul. Orioles and Nationals clinched the Eastern Divisions last night. Orioles with a home win over the Blue Jays. Nationals did it on the road in Atlanta. For the Orioles, it's their first American League East title since 1997. Gone to the playoffs twice in the last 3 years now, as Hendricks may have had a play on Barnhart but decided to get the sure out at first. Paging all healthcare professionals. The Cubs and their fans look to give thanks for the outstanding patient care provided by the Chicago healthcare community. Join us tomorrow night when the Cubs host the Dodgers. Purchase your tickets through the special events page to redeem an exclusive Cubs Scrub Top. Tickets are only available through Cubs.com/special events. Runner at second. And Negron, who started the ball game with a double, sees strike one. Nationals winning their second division title in 3 years. They finished 10 games behind the Braves last season.
Dreams of a Beltway World Series. That would be something, wouldn't it?
What, 30 miles apart?
Mm-hmm.
Two strikes on Negron. Make it 3 strikes.
Yeah, you reference Hendricks possibly and maybe even probably having to play on Barnhart at second base on that bunt, but I think he's a fairly conservative fellow out there, and he has such a good feel for the game. He realizes that it's still very early. No need to take a shot, get the shear out, prevent a potential big inning.
Curve to Santiago. Is the only Cincinnati Red who has started every game of this series. All at third. In the air, Soler in right to end the threat. They leave Barnhart at second. Bottom 3, Cubs 2, Reds 1. An improved CSN Chicago app now with video highlights, scores, and up to the second news on your favorite teams. Download the CSN Chicago app today. Available for iPad, iPhone, and Android. Cubs batting leading 2-1. Baez, Rizzo, and Soler against Daniel Corsino on a foul back our way. I think I heard that hit the roof right above us.
Right up above us. Yeah. We don't get many up here. Corsino's been a little bit inconsistent with his command of that slide ball. Bit of a hanger he threw that Baez fouled back. Another one he got away with.
Santiago will not have a play. Well, I think Derek Jeter picked the right time to retire. It's been a rough year for him. Statistically, as much fun as I'm sure he's had on his farewell tour. Went into action tonight, hitting .249 with an OBP and a slugging percentage, both under 300. I think he just snapped a long 0 for tonight as well. 17 games last year, hit 190. Called strike 3 to get Baez.
Yeah, everybody runs out of gas eventually. Jeter's had a marvelous career. Obviously, a first ballot Hall of Famer. His on base plus slugging .595, second worst in the American League among qualifying players. Only Matt Dominguez at .593 lower.
I mean, it's a kind of year, quite honestly, if he had gone in not making any sort of announcement. By this point, he might say, yeah, I think it's time
to shut it down. Yeah. And Joe Girardi's continued to hit him near the top of the order all year, correct? And there's been a little bit of an issue there.
It is tonight. Yeah, hitting second tonight.
Yeah, that's a mistake. I mean, I know it's Derek Jeter, and I know that he's had a great career, but to have him at the top of the order all year long, I don't know. Maybe they didn't have a plan B.
Swing and a miss. 2-1 on Rizzo. Well, Captain's had an amazing first ballot Hall of Fame career, and I think when it's all said and done, people will tend to forget what happened at the very end.
Yeah, I'm not saying not playing, but he should hit him eighth and not played him every day.
And I think the other thing too about not playing him basically every day, that kind of has to almost come from him, doesn't it?
Well,
this year
it would help Girardi had Derek say, hey, but was it Rivera or Jeter early on when Girardi said, hey, I'm not running a farewell tour here, I'm running a ball club.
Girardi said it this year
about Jeter. Well, he really has. It's exactly what he's done for to the detriment of his ball club. I mean, it's a tough position.
I think it's an impossible one for a manager. And on the other hand, you're asking a player to self-evaluate, which is not easy to do. Most guys think they're better than their numbers, which I get.
I think it would have been, given the history those two guys had together, Girardi and Jeter, they've been together a long time. At some point in May or June, hey, Jeets, here's the deal, man. I'm still going to play you. I'm just not going to play you every day. I'm not going to hit you in the 2-hole. And I think Jeter would probably go, hey, you're the skipper. I mean, it happens to a lot of great players. You're not the same guy, so your role is diminished.
I agree with everything you say. I guess the counter is, and I don't think Jeter makes waves per se, but has he ever been fully healthy and not been an everyday player? Ever?
No, but I don't know he's ever been a 595 OPS guy. And he's not a good shortstop either.
I know. Soler swings and misses.
And if I'm Jeter, I'm thinking, well, gee, if I could get to the postseason one more time, how cool would that be? And they probably have a better chance of getting to the postseason if he's not in the lineup every day. But that was a conversation. It's too late now, obviously.
Yeah,
that was a conversation that needed to take place a long time ago. And
1-1. Ground ball, backhanded. Negron, they'll get the out at second. Elmore covering to force Rizzo. Well, I think the last 2 minutes, that talk show has been had probably 50 times in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Hours and hours. Yeah. I think Jeter should play as much as he wants.
Yeah, this is Derek's team.
In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes. Foul tipped by Valbuena. Two and one. Pirates now lead 9-1 over Boston. Ike Davis is added to their home run total. He's hit his 11th.
Pirates putting on a pretty good surge here. They've won 8 of 10 coming into play tonight. 2.5 games behind St. Louis. One and a half better than Milwaukee for the second wild card spot. Brewers and Cardinals playing tonight. It's Wainwright and Fiers pitching in that ball game.
This is Fiers' first start since the Stanton game, right?
That's right.
Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. We've completed 3. Cubs lead 2-1.
Time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag NorthsideFanPhoto for a chance to have it appear in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
Nice night here at the ballpark. Final homestand of the season. 3 teams are here: the Reds, the Dodgers, the Cardinals. Cubs trying to finish with a winning home record for the first time since 2009. 37 up, 37 down going into tonight.
Somewhere in that crowd tonight is Jim Beattie. Jim is currently scouting for the Toronto Blue Jays, former big league pitcher and major league general manager, and a Dartmouth man like Kyle Hendricks. So he's very interested to see Hendricks pitch here tonight. This is his first look at him.
On strike pitch, Rodriguez waves at it. 0-2. He got his first career RBI on a ground out, plating Negron in the first run of the entire series for the visitors. Ball will be played, and no chance really for Baleka. And an infield hit for Rodriguez.
Third time in 4 innings that the Reds have had the leadoff man reach.
Yeah, we could go through all the ugly second half offensive numbers for the Reds, but I don't know if it really matters when you look at their lineup tonight, because, as you said, defensively, not a lot of these guys have contributed, and honestly, offensively, they haven't contributed. And I would say contributed negatively, because as a team, they're hitting .221 since the All-Star break. Since the first All-Star game in 1933, the lowest Reds batting average after the break, .234 in 1942. So it looks like they're going to shatter that dubious record this season. And when we see them in spring training next year, one of the first things we'll talk about when we recap 2014 is they were a game and a half out at the break and finished multiple digits in games out by season's end.
At 20-37, the record since the All-Star break. Started the second half losing 7 consecutive ball games. And that's when depression set in.
When you have stretches like that, as Ludwig takes a strike 1 and 2. After the fact, you look back and you go, man, if we just could have leveled off there during that awful week or 2 weeks, or remember the Rays lost, what, 14 of 15, man, we'd be right in it. But when you're in the middle of it, it feels like you're never going to get out of it. Baez will step on second himself, and a 6-3 double play. 2 down.
That was a double play waiting to happen. You just feel that one coming. If they didn't start the base runner there with Hendricks working against Ludwig, it's a little weak contact. They're not weak enough where they can't turn 2. Skimmer out there to short. Baez scoops it up, steps, flips. Ludwig doesn't run well.
There's an aggressive nature Baez has defensively that we obviously see offensively, that I think serves him very well.
Yeah,
he's got a nose for the ball.
He attacks the game. Yeah. And in the batter's box, sometimes it works against him, and the hope is that he's able to polish that up. The assumption is that he will polish that up.
Lutz fouls. Might have broken his bat.
Reds are going to have to call in another bat order before this one is over. If he gets a 3-base hit, is it a triple, Lutz?
I was going to make some sort of funny analogy. You beat me to it.
He's hit for the cycle like 3 times in the minor leagues. So for a big guy, he must move pretty well.
Yeah, the Lutz is a jump in figure skating. Ground ball, base hit.
He does go down the line pretty well.
That's the single Lutz.
Which you don't get any points for that. You watch that, the Winter Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all do, right? Even if you don't watch figure skating, any other time you pay attention during the Winter Olympics.
I don't.
And the
yes.
Lutz and the toe loop, I still don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Nor do I. No.
No matter how many times they describe it.
My thing is, if they don't fall down, I assume they're going to get a very high score.
Yeah.
Line shot. Kalish the grab. Inning over. 2-1 Cubs in the fourth. Christopher Acevedo here at the ballpark. He's been deployed to Spain, Japan, and Afghanistan, currently serving with Recruit Training Command Great Lakes. This Friday, September 19th, the Cubs host the Dodgers at 1:20, and the first 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Cubs travel blanket presented by United Airlines. To purchase seats, visit Cubs.com. We'll be out in the bleachers. Clayton Kershaw will face Edwin Jackson. Castillo turns on one, fouls it into the upper deck. This handy item would come in use maybe tonight. The travel blanket.
We might have to take that out there with us to the bleachers on Friday. Traveling.
Very nice item. There we go.
You want to throw that in your car this winter.
Mm-hmm.
Always good to have a blanket on hand.
Very soft. Two on Castillo. Here's a pitch by Corsino, making his Wrigley Field debut. Drifted to right. Lutz went back. Now he has to come in, and he makes the grab for the out.
Well, the Reds, we've been talking about their woeful second half. The offense brutal, as Len mentioned. The bullpen hasn't been very good. The starting pitching's kind of hung in there, been okay. Johnny Cueto's had a great year. He got beat last night. If not for Clayton Kershaw, Cueto might be the Cy Young Award winner in the National League.
And he was given a lot more leash last night. Brian Price admitted that he normally would have gotten because of where they are in the standings and what he has to accomplish.
Yeah.
Now he's got to win his final 2 starts to get to 20. He wasn't quite that relaxed last night, was he?
He was fired up.
Yeah, he wasn't real happy with his performance.
Well, and a lot of that was dictated by Arrieta. I think he when Cueto got a guy on base, he got very defensive, pitching away from contact. He was just fearful of giving up a run because Arrieta was so darn good.
Lutz again. Okay, so we've got the double Lutz here in the inning. You started it.
Yeah.
Jake Arrieta, percentage of 1, 2, 3 innings. Kershaw, Cueto, Arrieta.
Yeah, so the guys at the top of the leaderboard, you see the top 5 there, all the guys having very good years. We were just wondering last night because Arrieta's had so many clean innings where he ranked among big league pitchers, and there you go.
Kalish with an RBI double in his first at bat. He's in the 8th spot between Valleca and Hendricks tonight.
Now, it's hard to say that somebody, a catcher resembles another catcher when they got all that gear on. But every time we get that center field shot, I think it's Ryan Hannigan back there, the former Red. The way he sets up back there and the size reminds me a lot of Hannigan.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning comes to an end. Cubs 2, Reds 1 as they go for the sweep.
Move to the top of the 5th, and as the season winds down here in September, it's very important that we recognize all the work these players do off the field as well as on it. A number of the days these guys are out in the community before they even come to the ballpark. Recently at the Advocate Good Samaritan Hospital in Downers Grove, Cubs pitcher Neil Ramirez made a visit to the Cancer Care Center where he met with a number of cancer patients, survivors, and staff. He brought Cubs hats, Clark Bears, and other Cubs giveaways, signed autographs, and took photos with everyone there. He also made a few individual room visits to surprise some recently diagnosed cancer patients. And if I had a chance to talk to Neil, I'm sure this was a day he very much relished in, because he's just one of those guys, you know, that puts a smile on your face. I know both of you guys can talk to the kind of character Neil Ramirez has, guys, but certainly a special day for him.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, a lot of the Cubs players make visits on their own personal time before games, and a lot of it goes unnoticed. Jake Elmore, 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the 5th, 2-1. Cubs with the lead. Roller right to Valaika at second. 1 away. Barnhart.
So that was pitch number 47. So after the Elmore at bat, averaging less than 3 pitches per plate appearance.
Wow. 14.6 per inning so far this year for Kyle Hendricks. Let's see. Major League average. We'll find it here in a second. I'm going to say it's about 16.5. Popped into short right. It'll be the second baseman, Valaika, again, as he makes a catch.
A little weak ground ball, a little weak pop up. He is the king of the comfortable offer, isn't he?
16.2 is the major league average, so he's almost 2 pitches per inning less than that. That is terrific. And for that reason, we can say a Kyle Hendricks inning is not the same as an inning for another pitcher.
Yeah. Another easy one here.
1, 2, 3 for the second time in his first 5 innings, and he has a 2-1 edge. The Dodgers are in town for a 4-game weekend. Zach Greinke will pitch for the Dodgers tomorrow night. The Cubs will have left-hander Tsuyoshi Wada. You can catch all the action right here on Comcast Sportsnet starting at 7 o'clock Central Time.
Dodgers have lost 2 in a row. They got thumped today. (16-2) the final in Colorado.
Pulled that one. 2-0 on Hendricks.
Darwin Barney had a home run for the Dodgers today.
He did. Well, it'll be good to see Darwin back here at Wrigley. And I'm sure the first question will be, have you ever been in the visiting clubhouse? What do you think of it? It's small. Ha ha ha. Hendricks grounds out. 1 away.
So this Saturday, Cubs Dodgers, game time change. Remember, it's 12:05 first pitch. First 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Cubs tumbler, pictured there, presented by Pepsi and the Brookfield Zoo. For tickets, visit Cubs.com.
One 1-0 on Chris Coghlan. Somebody just tweeted me an article that I don't have time to read since we're on the air. Coghlan powders one to deep right. Caught by Lutz.
Oh my.
Coghlan, the toughest 0 for 3 we've seen all year. It's just, you can't believe it.
He needs to go in the clubhouse and change his T-shirt or something. Do something different. He needs to break a bat and hit a flare somewhere. This game will test you. Do everything right, hit it hard, but sometimes you don't get rewarded. It's called the hang with him.
Doug Wills sent a Beyond the Box Score piece from 2011 on Greg Maddux. His pitch efficiency. Baez with a huge cut. Here's a pull quote from 2011, so 3 years ago. At his current rate of pitches saved, number 2 pitch saver, Roy Halladay could throw 250 innings per year for 20 years and still not reach Greg Maddox's career total. League average pitcher generally needs about 145 pitches to get 27 outs. During Maddox's career, the league average was 144.1 per 9 outs. Guess what his average was? Or per 27 outs, 9 innings.
111.
120.6. So he basically saved 27 pitches per start for 9 innings. 2-1 Cubs after 5. Cubs host the Dodgers, and the first 5,000 kids 13 and younger get a Cubs lunch tote presented by Jewel Osco. Then after the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger can run the bases. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com. Two-one. Cutter strike on Negron. Top of the order here, Santiago. And Rodriguez also due up. Did it hit him?
It's a tough break for Hendricks. It just grazed him. Does a real nice job pitching inside the right-handed hitter to hit his shirt. Couple plays in order. See if Brian Price decides to start Negron here.
Santiago made his major league debut with Detroit back in 2002. 2 stints with the Tigers. A little time with Seattle. Bounced to first foul.
He's been around a long time, has over 9 years of major league service time.
Over 900 big league appearances. Put down 18 sack bunts in 03. Leading the majors that year. It's kind of been a big part of his game. 83 sacrifice bunts, now 84, including the one tonight. Runner goes, bounced foul.
Hit and run play there. An idea of staying out of a double play, so Santiago forced to hack at that one.
Ryan Price was Dusty Baker's pitching coach. Now he's the Reds manager.
John Farrell, Buddy Black, Brian Price, the 3 ex-pitchers currently managing in the big leagues. I was playing around earlier putting together my all-managerial team, taking the current crop of major league managers, putting a team together.
At different positions. Okay.
You got so many catchers.
I have to move one of them.
Well, you got a lot of guys on the bench. See if you concur here. Mattingly first base. Sandberg second base. Walt Weiss short. Third base was tough. Matt Williams, Robin Ventura. I went with Williams.
Okay.
Kirk Gibson, Ron Renicky, and Terry Francona, pre-knee injury in the outfield. I'm going to hand the ball to Buddy Black.
Okay.
There are 11 catchers, former catchers that are managers.
Right, don't say it yet. Should I guess which one you picked?
I might have leaked it just a little bit.
I didn't hear it.
And even my leak though, there'd be multiple options.
Well, Ed Yost, Bob Melvin, Mike Scioscia, Mike Redmond, Mike Matheny. Wow.
A lot of good ones.
Bruce Bochy. There are a lot of them.
Osmus, Gibbons, Joe Madden was a catcher. Joe Girardi.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Freddie Gonzalez was a catcher.
Yeah.
I went with Scioscia.
Yeah, Scioscia.
You know,
Osmus might be a backup.
Osmus, yeah. Osmus, Matheny. So here's the question that I pose to you, my friend.
Okay.
Who's going to manage our all-manager team? Who's going to deal with all these
Buck Showalter. Right? I would
he was on my short list.
Of whomever's left.
Yep.
Who would I pick?
Yep.
Probably Joe Madden.
I had a three-man group, and Showalter, Bochy, and Madden. And then I narrowed it down to Bochy and Madden, and I'm having a hard time pulling the trigger.
I would like to see all those guys wear the funky outfits, so I'll go with Madden. Off the plate.
So if you want your son to grow up to be a major league manager, probably ought to make him a catcher first.
No, my backup catcher, by the way, would be Mike Redmond, because he was a career backup catcher and he was really good at it, and he killed lefties.
So you can sit Sosha against a tough lefty.
Yeah. So Rhino's the only Hall of Famer currently managing, correct? Two balls, 2 strikes.
We'd have Ron Gardenhire, Ricky Renteria on our bench. Robin Ventura, we have to get him a lot of playing time. Lloyd McClendon, be a good pinch hitter.
Who would they play?
I don't know. We'd probably find enough ex-players floating around front offices. We'd put them up against them.
Line shot, base hit for Rodriguez. So they had 4 hits combined in the first 2 games. And they have surpassed that now tonight.
Well, we've talked a lot about it with Kyle Hendricks, that this 2.38 ERA that he came into the start with is better than a run and a half better than what he had down at AAA Iowa. So you would anticipate some regression going forward with him. He's not a big strikeout guy, so there's been a fair bit of luck. But when you watch him pitch, you appreciate the art of pitching, how to pitch to situations when he needs the ground ball, how he goes after it. Doesn't mean he gets it every time. So there is obviously when you don't strike out a lot, luck can work against you. The ball in play, the batting average on balls in play. You see here with Ludwig, who bounced into double play last time, he immediately goes down below the knees with sinking action, whether it's the sinker or the changeup, and then a lot of times it'll be the running, the 2-seam fastball in on the hands.
Two 2-0 on Ludwig. Bounced foul. Anthony Pacenta said they could play teams of all coaches. We could get really deep
coaches,
there.
Yeah, coaches would obviously there's a bigger talent pool to pull from.
Alan Trammell's of the world,
yeah.
Don Baylor, Bill Miller.
David Axelrod in the house tonight.
Oh yeah, he did look familiar. Good call. 3-1 now.
On the right, not wearing the chapeau. Here we go.
Double play ball.
Oh, no!
He dropped it. Throw to first in time. They get one. It was tailor-made. So 2 outs now.
Well, give Javi Baez credit for recovering and getting an out, because that could have been disastrous. Kyle Hendricks should be about 2 steps from the dugout right now. Instead, he's got another out to get. Lost the handle there as he tried to make the flip to second base.
So if there is no error, he got an out. It's a 6-3 ground out. And now second and third inning continues, and it's Lutz.
And Kyle, in his last start, allowed 4 runs in 5 2/3, all earned, but the defense was a little sloppy in that game.
Foul pop. Castillo makes a catch right above the ledge. Nicely done. That's a tricky play there, right up against the backstop. So in the end, Hendricks only had to make 1 extra pitch.
Cubs lead, bottom of the 6th. Friday, the White Sox head south for some fun in the sun. And then they'll move indoors to battle the Rays. White Sox Rays Friday at 6 on Comcast Sports Net.
Comes with a 1-run lead. Rizzo's second game back after missing 18. Sat out last night. 1-1 the count. Corsino has settled in. He gave up 2 in the second. Three and one.
Tried to change up on 2-1. We'll see how aggressive he's going to be here. 3-1. Trying to jam him with a heater.
Rizzo walks to start the inning. He has not put a ball in play. A strikeout and 2 walks. Stretching out in the Reds bullpen, Corsino now with his 90th offering of the night. Ball 1.
Brewers and the Cardinals remain scoreless through 5. Mike Fiers has a no-hitter going. Locked up with Adam Wainwright tonight.
Did you say no? What?
No hitter. Mike Fiers.
Said it. That's it.
Yeah, they'll be
over.
Check back in about 5 minutes and see that is gone. He's walked 1, struck out 5. Fiers was the obviously the guy that hit Stanton with that fastball last week. He also punched out 14 Cubs here back on August 14th.
Well, that's the other thing. You know, some of the post-Stanton incident analysis included one unnamed analyst whom I respect a ton saying, why would you go back up and in on the next pitch to Reed Johnson? And if you watch Mike Fiers pitch, that's what he does. He works the top of the strike zone.
Yeah,
that's what his fastball does.
Yeah.
And Reed, as we know, stands right on top of the plate, and it was deemed that he swung at the pitch.
Yeah, ball had some run. And
I don't have any issue with the next pitch he threw. In fact, I think that's probably the best thing he should have done.
Well, and
do what you do.
And he might not even try to do that. He was so unnerved after hitting Stanton. You know, he might have just quit on his delivery. Just kind of floated it up there. You know, just didn't finish the pitch.
I mean, is the next pitch supposed to be 2 feet outside?
Right. Yeah.
Even the Marlins didn't have an issue with the pitch per se. They had more of an issue with the reaction. Knocked down by Corsino, and he'll get it out at first. Soler hit a screamer right back to the mound.
The fact that he was able to knock it down but not catch it cost him a chance at a double play, and Rizzo moves into scoring position. Yeah, and I saw some of the video, and I think Fiers, I think they misinterpreted his reaction as well. I think his basic reaction was, I can't believe you guys think I hit him up there on purpose. Now, having said that, and having seen that replay a number of times, and then Chase Headley got hit in the chin the same night. I would not be opposed to an automatic ejection for a hitter getting hit in the head. I'm not sure if I had a vote that I would vote that way, but if that rule came down, I would certainly understand it. And the point being this: it's not your fault. We know it's not your intent, but we want to make sure that everybody's cognizant of doing everything they can to keep the ball down below the shoulders because of what it's at stake.
So any part of the helmet?
Yeah, anything that hits the head, whether so you take the whole intent thing out of it, and you're less hung up on warnings and throwing guys out when they hit somebody in the ribs, or because that's what hitters always say. This is my livelihood up here. This is my, you could
Didn't Joe Girardi make a comment about the Rays? If you don't know how to pitch inside, don't do it.
Yeah.
Basically, if you pitch inside, you got to go low, not high.
Ty Cobb would have said this ain't no pink tea and mollycoddle.
Yeah, that was, you sold it well. Your explanation.
Yeah, I wouldn't lead the charge for it. I don't think it has to happen, but I said if there was a movement in baseball to do it, I would certainly understand it.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Rizzo at second. Here it is. Blocked by Barnhart.
He's athletic back there.
Yeah.
He's quick. As was Hannigan, who has moved on. Kevin Mesoraco, now the primary catcher for the Reds. He's having a breakout year, an all-star year. Barnhart looks like a guy who might be able to stick around the big leagues for a while because of his defensive skills.
Josh tweeted, what if a batter gets hit by a curveball that got away? That's the one I thought about. But I think your point is.
Yeah, that is.
But you're erring on the side of, as we look at our AT&T UVerse Multiview, you're taking all of the intent discussion out of the umpire's hands. Just if it hits you in the head, it hits you in the head. Don't throw a curveball that gets away. Good knockdown by Barnhart. You can't have a perfect rule.
Yeah, but that's a real good point.
2 walks in the inning.
We could really get into some minutia then, right?
But I think the head is interesting because that's the one area where a guy will not let, I don't think, the ball hit him purposely.
Right, yeah, nobody's going to
Other areas of your body you may kind of not really get out of the way.
Anytime a guy gets hit in the head with something over 88 miles an hour is cause for an automatic ejection.
Well, what if I only throw 87? All right, we're sorting it out. New pitcher for the Reds. We'll be back.
Entered the game-winning home run to Anthony Rizzo here on Monday. Hence the 0-1 and the 1 home run allowed. But just 7 games at the big league level. 6-2 in 42 appearances at AAA with a 3.20 ERA. All but 2 of those appearances out of the bullpen. Fastball, slider, cutter, and a change. Been a 1-run game since the Cubs scored 2 in the bottom of the second. Now they got a chance to extend that lead a little bit here. The Lakers can come through with 2 outs.
Sharply hit grounder, just short. Negron to Elmore, and that'll end the inning. Todd Hollinsworth, our colleague, coming up before the stretch in the 7th. Of the game, it's 9-year-old Tyler Unverzagt, our colleague Brian Unverzagt's son, here at the ballpark. Brought to you by AT&T, our hashtag Northside Fan Photo. Todd Hollinsworth is with us. Going to sing the stretch tonight and enjoying another Kyle Hendricks start.
Oh, he is quick, isn't he? He works fast.
And we were noting he's throwing about 2 fewer pitches per inning than major league average. And that's why I think they've extended his innings a little bit here in September.
Well, you know, the unique thing about Kyle is that he pitches at the velocity that really does trigger the hitter's instinct. You know, we've seen it tonight. He's pitching at the top of the strike zone, getting swings just above the hitting zone at 86, 87 miles an hour. Hitters go after that pitch, but they don't do much with it.
Comfortable offer.
Oh, yeah.
It looks easy. I can hit this. Well, yeah, you can hit it. Just might not hit it very well.
1-0 on Jack Hanahan. There's a strike.
So, Holly, you're plugged in. You got your national radio show, so you know you're not just a National League guy. You know everything. So, who do you like? Who's going to win this World Series? Who will handicap this thing for us?
Yeah, it is very interesting. You look at the teams in the American League right now. For example, you look at the Angels. They've been so convincing. They have scored runs in a variety of ways. They're pouring it on right now. Guys like Shoemaker, you believe in. Weaver, getting it done with a little less velocity. I think the question that people really have is, who's the ace? Do they have an ace? Are they going to play a 1-0 ball game? Who's the guy that's going to back that up? But they score runs left and right. Hard to argue the Angels right now. Everything seems to be clicking on all cylinders.
Elmore with a base hit. And that'll bring up Barnhart, the catcher. Now we saw the Orioles here not too long ago. There's the American League West. Everybody said the A's were the best team in baseball for the first 4.5 months.
The A's were, it wasn't even a slam dunk. They're the best team in baseball. The Samardzija deal wasn't about winning the division. It was about the postseason. And Billy Beane's the one who said, no, wait a minute here. This isn't necessarily about that World Series run.
Barnhart with a good bunt, barehanded play, safe at first as Rizzo couldn't hang on to it. So Barnhart with a bunt single, and they have runners at first and second. And he beat it.
Yeah. Anthony not able to secure the ball. That's one, boy, Anthony's so good over there and long and flexible. He's like a Gumby. But that one, you got to make sure you knock that ball down when the throw comes from that angle. It's different than when it's coming from second base and it's only one base. When it goes down the right field line, that could be chaotic.
So the A's probably in a short season because they're pitching, people would like them. Seattle even, right? If you run into
right. Well, the thing with the A's is they still have John Lester. I mean, you look at him and in his playoff track record. I mean, we asked this question a couple mornings ago on the air, and people were responding with the same answer. John Lester's the guy that I would want on the mound in a game I've got to win. The thing about the A's that's so interesting to me, we talked run differential an awful lot with them in May and June. They were at like 120, 140 early in the season, just dominating, and they're still there. They're just a hint better, and it really does describe what's happened to them. The offense has slowed down, and even with the Lester, they're still playing very, very close ball games. And now the offense hasn't been there. Cespedes is gone, and they're leaning on some guys in the middle of that lineup who have streaked a little bit. They just don't look as convincing as they once did.
So because the run differential hasn't been that bad, if they get in, win that wild card round game, now all of a sudden they could become everybody's darling again within a matter of a few days.
Well,
but 1 and out is very, very dangerous.
So if they're going to survive that, right, kind of the air comes out of the balloon, you relax a little bit. You say, all right, we survived that scare. Now we just go play.
There's a pitch on the pinch hitter Pena, and he fouls 1-1. Detroit, interesting team.
Yeah, very much so. Very stacked the same way. I mean, key players in key spots. I mean, top of the rotation you love, middle of the lineup. J.D. Martinez, Victor Martinez, Miguel Cabrera swinging the bat in September. I mean, these guys look so good right now, but it's keys. It's what about the bullpen? I mean, Joe Nathan blew a save the other night. After J.D. Martinez had gotten them the lead. I mean, it's things like that just create a little doubt in your mind.
And that's been an issue for that team going back to before Brad Ausmus was the manager.
Right.
The 9th inning.
And Joe was supposed to be the answer coming into this season, and it just hasn't really played out that way as far as Tiger fans are concerned.
Pena sends one in the air out towards Soler. Everybody's going to end up holding.
So we're going to sing here in a bit. Now the pipes. What's your singing? What's your resume? You dabble?
Low and slow. No, I can't sing. I just, you just got to take this one easy, though.
You play anything? Do you have any musical chops?
No, nothing at all. That's not me. I just make it through. That's my goal. As long as nobody's talking about you after it, right?
You don't want to make any history.
That's exactly right.
I'll ask you one other question here. Hopefully Hendricks gets out of this thing quickly and we get you singing as Negron steps in. I have mentioned Mike Redmond. I don't think he'll win the Manager of the Year in the National League, but your former teammate, he's got to get some consideration considering they lost 100 last year, right? That is deep and trouble. And caught it. Coughlin with the catch. I'll get your answer after the stretch. Here comes Todd Hollingsworth.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Cub Todd Hollingsworth.
All right, Cub fans, loud and proud. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for its root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right, boys, let's get this one done. Mars, I love you. I'll be home after the post game.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this one might get on out.
All right.
And he pars into pitch. So Mike Redmond, how about the job he's done with that Marlins ball club?
Len, I get the privilege to talk to him every couple weeks over at MLB. It's so much fun to watch him develop. He's a former teammate of mine, a friend of mine, and to see the job that he's done with this team. What's impressed me most is the way his team has responded to him over and over again. Yeah, I mean, people forget they lost Jose Fernandez way back in the beginning of the year. Everybody thought, oh, good start, but you lost your ace. You're in trouble. No, they just kind of kept keeping on, and, winning games, going into series, and bouncing back. And then you had Stanton go down, and I mean, this team just kind of responds to him. They are his pulse, and that's good to have. That's a real good thing to have. There are a lot of teams out there that don't have the pulse of their manager. The Marlins do, and I really am pulling for him with the National League Manager of the Year award. You're right. I'm not convinced he'll win it. Matt Williams is a very, very strong candidate as well. He's had a fantastic season as a rookie manager with the Nationals.
Caesar with a little blooper, and it's going to be caught by Negron on the run. We'll see the Dodgers tomorrow. Kershaw's going to pitch Friday. Who's your MVP, Stanton or Kershaw?
Probably Kershaw. I've really swung on this one. Remember, this is coming from a former player.
It's hard to believe. An outfielder at that. Yeah.
I know. I guess what I've taught myself is this, JD. I look at the starters now and say they get their 26 bats a week in one game. As opposed to trying to, break it down and say, well, that's a player's award. It only goes to a player. I mean, it's hard to argue the value of what he does atop the rotation, stopping losing streaks, extending winning streaks to the point where he's been that good. In my mind, Stanton has been outstanding. Hard to argue against him, but I just think it's the year. I think Clayton's going to get it done.
Yeah, well, I think if the criteria, and I think voters come at it from different angles, that the criteria is who's been the most dominant performer, regardless of what their job is on the field. Kershaw's probably the guy.
Well, it's no fault of his own that he only works every fifth day. Yeah. I mean, it's again, you kind of have to look at it that way. The players will give you something different. Again, like I said, I mean, we're the ones that are grinding and dragging ourselves on and off the field 18 times a day, and again, his job is different, but he has dominated it.
I like the idea of plate appearances versus games. Because I mean, you're facing maybe 30 guys in a game.
Well,
he's having that many battles every fifth day, and he's winning just about every one of them.
That's what I agree with. See, I mean, well, it is. I mean, it's the battles. I mean, we look at it in at bats, and we break ourselves down. Even as hitters, going up against the starters. The second time through, he just does it all at once. It's really just the way you got to look at it. He gets his 26, 30 at bats in one game, and we get him over a week.
There's a 1-2 on Alt, the pinch hitter, and now 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-1. The Cubs have the lead. The aptly named Jumbo Diaz up in the Reds bullpen.
So many ways to break down that whole MVP debate. Now, I would be in favor if they changed the rule.
Ground ball to third, backhanded play. Santiago, and he's got him.
If they were to create a situation where it was a player of the year and a pitcher of the year.
Right.
And the pitcher of the year was a Cy Young award, and whatever they want to call the player of the year award. Then you wouldn't have that murky argument about pitcher versus.
I agree.
But as long as the pitcher is under consideration and part of the pool of candidates, then you have to put Kershaw right there with him, or if not above Stanton.
All right, it complicates things. It really does, because I still say, I mean, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you that's the Players Award. What are you talking about? There's no pitchers. I don't care what he does. He's not winning the Players Award. But the more that I've learned an awful lot now being on this side of the field, talking about baseball and breaking guys down, that you really do realize not only the importance these guys have, but the roles they play even as starters every fifth day. I mean, he went into, San Francisco. That was the deciding game on Sunday, after the Dodgers kind of responded after a Bumgarner, big win. You thought the Giants had all the momentum. The Giants were looking to bounce back on Sunday. Kershaw shut them down, as he's shut down just about everybody.
2-0 now on Coughlin.
He's a big, hard-throwing buzzkill is what he is to the hitters in the other dugout. Right? Oh, man.
Adrian Gonzalez has said if you vote for anybody other than Kershaw, basically you're an idiot.
Well,
that's his teammate.
Yeah, there's some bias at work there.
2-0 the count. Ground ball picked up by Elmore. Holly, thanks for joining us. And
I appreciate
we'll enjoy
it,
your
guys.
post-game analysis.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Todd Hollandsworth. 2-1 Cubs late.
It's the Cubs' spring training with your official Cubs vacation package. Each package includes great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a special Cubs gift bag, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more information or to book your trip, call 1-800-892-7687.
Caesar stays in and plays center after batting for Kalish. And here's right-hander Pedro Strop.
Well, the bullpen not needed last night as Jake Arrieta went the distance. Strop the first man out of the chute tonight with those numbers.
By the way, guess who broke up Fire's no-hitter?
Yeah, I heard.
Adam Wainwright.
Top of the seventh, Wainwright delivered the base hit. That game remains scoreless.
It must be
bottom of the sixth.
Bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, they're in St. Louis.
No score in that one. Oh, and 2 to Santiago.
Those red hitters are going to have to dial it up a notch now to try to catch up to the mid-90s offerings of Strop.
Santiago strikes out, one away.
Kyle Hendricks, 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 run it was earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 80 pitches in 7 innings, 57 for strikes. Another spectacular outing for the young right-hander.
Here's a question for you. I guess it's more a question for Brian Price. If the Reds are in the ninth down a run with the lineup he has out there tonight, would he, if he's got, Lutz, Hanahan, Elmore due up, does he use Phillips, Bruce, Mesoraco, or do we assume those? I mean, we don't assume anything. But do you think those guys are basically sitting there in their tennis shoes just with their feet up tonight?
I would assume they're not in their tennis shoes, but I would not assume that he would use them. I think he was giving these guys a start. He's saying, hey, it's your ball game to win or lose. The guys you're mentioning, most of them don't have a lot of experience coming off the bench. And then, he'll play the matchup game too. would suspect with a right-handed pitcher on the mound, Jay Bruce might get in that bat to try to tie the ball game.
Both outs have been strikeouts here in the 8th. Ludwig 0-1. Two and one. Foul tipped.
And I've had that conversation with fans a lot over the years. People would ask, well, on a given night, somebody's got a day off, one of the regular star caliber player. Well, why didn't he pinch hit with so-and-so? Still think a guy that's been in the game all night long, that's in the flow of the game, probably has a better chance than even that star caliber player coming off the bench for 1AB against a guy throwing 97 miles an hour.
Three and two. Lutz is on deck. 2-1 Cubs here in the 8th. High bouncer, fair, right near third, and a good pick by Rizzo to save Valbuena. Like Luis maybe was thinking about where his feet were around the bag. May have affected the throw a little bit, but Rizzo helped him out. It's the perfect gift for the sports memorabilia collector and your family. This offseason, visit Cubs.com/authentics to bid on weekly auction items, including MLB authenticated game-used baseballs, jerseys, bases, and much more. For more info, call 773-404-47 53. Jumbo Diaz.
Jumbo, a 30-year-old rookie right-hander from La Romana in the Dominican Republic. 6'4", 280-ish. A significant loss in weight. He was well up over 300 pounds. Worked real hard to get into shape, and he's doing a pretty nice rookie year.
Baez sends one to right. Long run Lutz, and it's going to drop fair. And it's a long single.
Javi might have been caught watching that one, seeing if he was going to land fair or not. The one thing you don't want to do, if you didn't put yourself in position to get 2 bases, you don't want to make the mistake of trying to recover and then get to second base and getting thrown out. So he got caught in between a little bit.
Here's Rizzo. David Hashback with a nice tweet. He said many more putouts at first after strikeouts these days. Hitters swinging from their heels at bad pitches in the dirt far more often. I don't have any sort of statistical backup for his point, but it does feel like, anecdotally, that we've seen more of those types of strikeouts. Would you not agree?
Well,
swinging at pitches,
seen a lot of
strike 3 in the dirt. We've seen a lot more strikeouts.
Got here. I mean, it happens with Javi a fair bit.
Strop had 2 of them.
And I would think,
is it just more strikeouts in general?
Well, I think there's more strikeouts are up for sure. And yeah, it just stands to reason. We talk a lot about hitters, most hitters not employing a 2-strike approach, not kind of spreading out, going into protect mode, just trying to make a little contact. Guys don't want to compromise their swing, so you're going to get more swings and misses at balls out of the zone.
Foul pop up. And it hit the ledge. Barnhart hasn't played a lot at Wrigley Field, but the only thing he could have done is maybe go around the corner and into that little nook near the dugout steps. Yeah, right where the ball dude is.
It's a tough read to make as you're pursuing that pop up, but that would have been the only way he could have gotten to that one.
Get 1, and that's it.
Good aggressive play there by Elmore in a 1-run game to nail a lead runner. Keep the double play in order. That's probably findable, right? Findoutable, that stat, the 2 to 3 put out. You can probably.
I just think it is a function of more strikeouts in general. And I think pitchers are way more willing to throw pitches well out of the strike zone because guys, as you said, more apt to swing.
Yeah, well, that's the other number I'd like to find out from the 7th inning on, say what the strikeout rate is in Major League Baseball with all these big arms coming out of the bullpens. Santiago tight to the line at third. Outfielders deep and no doubles defense. The Cubs look for an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th. Hard throwing Hector has been up. He's ready to go down in the Cubs pen.
Now, what I can find for you, I don't know if there's strikeout rates, but Baseball Reference does break it down. Innings 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and there have been more strikeouts in the final 3 innings than in the first or middle 3. Outside, it's full, 3-2. Major League batting average in the first 3 innings, 253, 260 in the middle of the ball game, 241, 7 through 9. OBP slugging all down in the late innings. He walked him.
And then obviously, if you look at the numbers for the late innings with the teams with the leads, when they're using their best relievers, those offensive numbers would be suppressed even more. It's so important to carry a lead into the final third of the ball game. Most clubs pretty good at closing you out. Even the teams having bad years, when you look at their record when entering the 7th inning with the lead, they're winning almost all the time.
Well, there's no surprise if you look at 2014 that pitchers do pretty well in the first 3 innings. That ball lined out toward the gap. It'll get down, and the Cubs are going to add on as Rizzo will trot home. Soler will pull up at third, and Valbuena is out at second. Tried to stretch it into 2, but he does knock in Rizzo to make it 3-1.
Yeah, real good swing of the bat there by Valbuena. He gets his second hit of the night. He scored after singling back in the second. This time he drives in an insurance run. A little hesitation by Rizzo to make sure it gets down, and I think Valbuena thought there was going to be a play made perhaps on Soler, so he tried to get into second base, and the Reds made a smart play and got him. They weren't going to get Soler. Negron's played a nice game defensively. Cuts it off, immediately fires to second. Elmore is waiting with the tag.
7-6-4. 97 in a swing and a miss. 3-1 Cubs here in the 8th. So anyway, it's like a kind of a subtle bell curve when you look at offense in a game, and it makes sense. You got your starting pitcher. First 3 innings are okay. 4 through 6, either the starting pitcher is second or third time through the order, or you get into middle relief. So that's where most of the offense comes. And then late in the game, the offense then sags a little bit. So the league ERA first 3 innings 3.70, then up to 3.95, then down to 3.61.
Just think about this last road trip. Some of those games, 1 or 2 of those games in Toronto where the Cubs were down 4-1, something like that in the middle, and then so you're not using Ramirez, Grimm, Rondon, and Strop in that situation. You're going to the middle guys, and if they're scuffling, and sometimes you have to leave them in there and take a little bit of a beating, and next thing you know, you got an 11-1 ball game.
It's kind of fun. But what inning do you think the highest OPS is?
I would say the first or the fourth.
The 4th inning, 7:31. The 8th is the worst, 6:63. So Castillo punches out. Rondon coming on in a safe spot as the Cubs go for the 3-game series sweep. gift for the sports memorabilia collector and your family. This offseason, visit Cubs.com/authentics to bid on weekly auction items, including MLB authenticated game used baseballs, jerseys, bases, and more. For more information, call 773-404-4753. I think I read the wrong promo. But I will tell you the most popular way to follow the September pennant races is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store and visit MLB.com.
Well, here comes Hector for the 59th time. 24 saves and 28 tries. A 2.67 ERA. Been absolutely lights out in the second half of the season. Not that he was shabby in the first half. So if the Cubs win this game and sweep the Reds, they will have swept 3 of their last 4 home series. And were swept in the other one by the Pirates.
They kind of been an all or nothing.
Yeah,
deal.
Swept the Orioles, swept the Brewers, were swept by Pittsburgh, and now this one with the Red Legs here.
One 1-0 on Donald Lutz. Missed again, 2-0.
It's the kind of keen analysis you can only get by reading the back page of the Cubs notes and or going online and looking at the day by day.
It's a strike and it's 2-1.
Well, way back in the first inning, the Reds had a leadoff double from Christopher Negron. Santiago bunted him over, and that old adage, you play for a run, lose by a run, could ring true tonight. It's a 2-run game now, but again, that early game strategy of playing for a run tends to backfire on you. Might not have been his idea. I'm guessing it wasn't. I think it was just Santiago on his own trying to move a runner along.
That's Valleca for out number 1. Anaheim, strike 1. Grounded out twice and lined to center.
How about that? Change piece.
Ooh, that's a nice wrinkle. Yeah.
Boys are breaking out some new toys here. We saw that from Strope the other night. It's a split grip, a split finger pitch.
Ready for post-game live. Two and two. Looks like Billy Hamilton is on deck for Elmore. 3-2. Good try.
Yeah, sliding off that outside corner. Got a 2-run lead. Willing to attack the fat part of the strike zone here. Throw it over the heart of the plate. Keep it down. Throw 98. I guess just throw it over the plate. Like your chances.
Especially with a 2-run lead. Yep. Tailed out of the zone.
Open a little bit.
Hamilton looking into the dugout as Jay Bruce is also with a bat in hand, and it'd be Hamilton.
If this were a 1-run game, Hamilton would be trotting down there to first base to pinch run. That's how big that insurance run was. As it is, Jason Bourgeois, he's a speedy guy too, just not Hamilton speedy.
So their everyday leadoff man getting the night off until now. And he squares. And takes ball 1, and here comes Castillo along with Valbuena to talk to Rondon.
It might be time to try a slider. Just because the mechanical adjustment you have to throw the slider might help fix the fastball command. Stay with that pitch and finish it, and then more likely to repeat that delivery when you try to throw the heater. Whatever, whether it's slider, fastball, whatever you know or feel you have your best chance of throwing a strike with is what you throw in this situation.
Fastball strike.
Channel it through there. Hamilton taking all the way.
Lined left field. Coghlan gathers it in. 2 outs. And it will be Jay Bruce.
A little drama here. Jay Bruce, a slugger, to face Rondon representing the tying run.
The bat for Barnhart.
Here's the Rondon factoid of the night. That walk he just issued, the second free pass he has surrendered in the second half of the season.
Here we go. The pitch to Bruce. Swings at the first one. Sends it in the air to center. Caught by Caesar. Cubs win. Cubs sweep. And in the process give up 1 run in the 3 games to the Reds.
Yeah, well, you got a little bit of the chicken and egg argument going on. Obviously, the Reds struggling. They've been the worst offensive team in baseball in the second half. But the pitching by the Cubs in this series, outstanding. A bounce-back start for Travis Wood in the opener, and then Arrieta with one of the more dominating performances we've seen all year. The 1-hitter last night. Tonight, Kyle Hendricks up to his old tricks. 7 innings of 7-hit, 1-run baseball, and then good work by Strop and Rondon to finish it off.
So high fives all around, and our GMC professional grade player of the game, we're going to give it to Chris Coghlan.
Yeah, there was not a lot of pressure on Kyle Hendricks tonight. The game could have turned right there, though, with a couple of men on base, and Coghlan up against the wall to haul it in. A frustrating night for Coghlan. He hit the ball hard at least 3 times tonight for outs. Big play there.
So the Cubs will welcome in the NL West leading Los Angeles Dodgers tomorrow night for a 4-game weekend. The Cardinals then for 3. Off day next Thursday, and then we head to Milwaukee to wrap up the 2014 season. Let's send it down to the field. Kelly Kroll, take it away.
Thanks a lot. Well, Ryan, of course, pretty tough today, but you and Chris Valaika were able to put together a couple good at-bats there in the second. What were you able to take advantage of at the plate there early?
Early in the game, we were pretty disciplined at the plate, and when that happens, usually good things happen, and we got pitches over the plate. And I tell everyone when we talk about it, when you see a highlight, usually it's a pitch that's right over the plate. So we got that, and it was it was really fun.
I know for you, this is your second stint up here with the team. What is the biggest difference for you this time around?
I feel healthier. I've had a lot more experience under my belt. I missed 3 years, and it was really fun to play again. Even in the minors, I had a really good time with all the guys down there. And coming back, I feel, more confident and just trying to take advantage of every opportunity given.
Speaking of those guys, Kyle Hendricks, I know you got to see a little bit of him in Iowa, but seeing how his stuff has translated at this level, does it surprise you at all?
No, when you hit spots like Kyle does, it's really not surprising at all. And also, when errors are made behind him, he's one of the best guys I know at just coming back and saying, you know what, it's all good. I'm going to do it for the team.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem.
There you go, Ryan, 1 for 2 tonight, and the RBI double there that helped the Cubs sweep this 3-game set against the Reds tonight, guys.
Kelly, thank you. So for JD, Kelly, and our entire CSN crew, Len Casper with your final score. The Cubs 3 and the Reds 1. We're back on the air tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. The Dodgers and the Cubs from beautiful Wrigley Field. Camp and Holly getting set on the field. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is right around the corner.